Hello to our listeners, it's Jimmy here. Today is a beautiful Saturday morning, and you know what it means, right? That together with my friend Chaddy,
Hello.
we are bringing you episode 5 of our weekly podcast, The Word Speaks.
The word speak.
The Word Speaks, the podcast that adds life to the published articles of The Word magazine.
That's right. Alam mo, Kuya Jimmy, I just realized while we were recording this that by the time we broadcast this podcast, wow,
Rhyming.
it'll be the last week of September, meaning the Word Speaks podcast is now a month old.
Yippee!
Wait,
Woo!
gawin naman nating a month new para fresh.
And to keep the published articles, Chatty, fresh in our minds, isang malupitang recap naman dyan ng lahat ng naging featured articles natin for the past few weeks.
Okay, this past few weeks, we got the chance to give voices to the following published articles of the Word magazine. In a Christian's Pocket by Vea Evangelista, Christianity in the Midst of the Pandemic by Benjamin Seco,
Hi, Kuya Benj.
God Says a Little Later by Pastor Therese Ong,
That's our OIC.
and The Hopeful by Angel Santos. And before we get to this week's chosen article, I want to ask you, Kuya, a deep question.
Okay, natatakot ako sa mga Q&A portion dito. Pero, sige, go. Ask away.
What sentence or quote of this month's articles have been engraved in your mind?
Okay, I have two answers to that actually. Number one would be this paragraph from The Hopeful written by Mr. Angel Santos, and the paragraph goes this way. Sabi, despite the uncertainty and okay, that's my nose. Despite the uncertainty and with so little basis, people cast their hopes and back it up with their resources, if not lives. And to what end? For material prosperity, success, or social status? Why not choose the great future promised by an even greater promise maker? A promise that dwarfs worldly aspirations. One that will undoubtedly be fulfilled. Diba? Sobrang ganda niya. So, hindi ko kasi siya mahiwa-hiwalay eh. Parang the paragraph itself speaks so loudly. So that's number one. And number two is God Says a Little Later from the writing of Pastor Therese Ong. It says, when God gives delays, don't be disheartened. Do not move your faith. Be moved by your faith. Ayun.
Ang ganda nga talaga
Diba?
niyang quote na yan, Kuya.
Powerful. How about you, Chaddy? Do you have a favorite article sa ating mga na-feature for the past few weeks?
I do, Kuya. Pero before that, can I make a disclaimer na every article we featured in The Word Speaks are all favorites of mine.
Wow.
And for different reasons, but I'm a bit biased. I'm a bit more biased sa God Says a Little Later.
Oh, is it because our OIC is listening? Hi, Pastor Cha.
Hello po.
Okay, so why?
This article, how should I say? I've been there, done that.
So it was your experience that God has somehow delayed His answer to your prayers.
Yes, and I thought that was like the worst thing. But after seeing His plans for me, plans for me.
Sometimes kasi it would materialize, no, and God would unfold His plans in your life. I mean, it's not in a one-time, big-time shot, no. But again, going on.
After realizing God's plans for me, I realized that His plans are indeed better than what we have planned. And
Amen.
this article stays true to that. But I think na madadagdagan na naman ang aking favorite article this week because we will be featuring a piece from the Word issue 219 named In a Hurry by Pastor Gladys Quillao.
The Word Speaks.
In a Hurry by Pastor Gladys Quillao. Ecclesiastes 3 unveiled the truth that there is a time for everything. Human nature hates waiting, but a person who has faith in the Lord will gladly go through the process of waiting because he trusts God's perfect timing. God is the designer of our lives. He knows when we are perfectly ready for something we are praying for. When we request something from God, that doesn't mean we are ready for that request. A child may request for a toy, but if it isn't appropriate for him, he will not fully appreciate it. When we request something from God, He knows what is perfectly appropriate for us and when it is perfectly appropriate to be given. Sometimes we are childish before God. We just want things without thinking if it'll be good for us or not. A child may throw tantrums all day long for a knife he wants to play with, but a loving parent will patiently deny that request. There can be times that our prayers are not granted, but this doesn't mean that God doesn't want us to be happy. He is a loving God who knows what's best for us, like in Romans 8:32 that says, "He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also along with him graciously give us all things?" Trust the wise and perfect process of God. Life may throw you bullets of doubts and bombs of disappointments, but if you genuinely trust God, nothing can harm you. Like Abraham, who waited for a long time before Isaac was given to him. The Israel nation also traveled 40 years before they reached the promised land. It also took a long time for the promise of the Messiah to be fulfilled, but always believe that the one who promised is faithful, as it is written in Hebrews 10 verse 23. And while waiting, make yourself ready for what you are praying for. Make sure that you are in the right spirit, so you will not devalue the gift God has already prepared for you. Do not be in a hurry. Wait for the great things ahead.
Woo! What a wonderful piece to end this month's podcast. Isn't that right, Chadi?
I wholeheartedly agree. We must trust the wise and perfect process of God.
That's true. Kaya to our listeners, don't be in a rush. Don't be in a hurry to leave just yet. Before we end this podcast, we'd like to offer our thanks to everyone who's tuning in. Maraming salamat po. If you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions, don't be shy to comment down below or message us privately at the Word Magazine Facebook page.
Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yup.
And if you still haven't followed us on Facebook, all links are in the description. Also, get ready for our October content because we'll be listening to the word articles that will heal our tired
more
heart.
articles that will heal our tired hearts and give healing to our souls, because October will be our month of healing. And we'll be inviting guests over, hearing testimonies and more.
So stay safe,
Stay blessed,
and stay tuned every Saturday at 9 a.m. here at
The Word Speaks.